Welcome to Reformed Theological Hot Ones, the show with hot questions and even hotter wings. I'm your host, Camden Bucey, and I'm here today with Dr. Lane Tipton, who serves as a fellow of biblical and systematic theology here at Reformed Forum, and more importantly, as pastor of Trinity OPC in Easton, Pennsylvania. Welcome to the show, Lane. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's quite challenging to be here, I think.
How do you do with spicy things?
In the past, I've dealt fairly well with them, but I believe there are levels of spice that I'm yet to explore here.
Me too. I love the show, the YouTube show Hot Ones. I kind of look like Sean Evans, the host, and he's also from Evanston, which is from Northern Illinois, so I feel he's a kindred spirit. We love that show. We've had some experience, at least with one of these sauces, the bomb, in private, which was hilarious, and thankfully for my sake was not recorded, but today we're going all in. Yeah. We're pushing our chips to the middle of the table, and we're doing a Reformed Forum Theology Hot Ones in homage to the show, which you can find on YouTube, and we're going at it today, full bore. So first up, we have none other than the classic hot sauce, Heat with Heart, number 1. Let's try her out.
Okay.
Number 1. That's tasty.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So, Lane, we typically measure peppers, hot peppers, on the Scoville scale.
Yep.
But I'm thinking perhaps we should measure theologians on the Schofield scale. So where would you put the theologians or views? So where would you put the following views on the Schofield scale of dispiness?
Okay.
Pre-trib rapture.
1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. I think I'd have to go with a 10 on that one.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's relate it to the sauces on the table. So you'd put it all. You'd put pre-trib rapture is XXX.
I'm afraid it's XXX. I think it seems that way.
All right, let's tone it down a little bit.
Okay.
Historic premillennialism.
Somewhere around 7, maybe. 7.
A mass conversion of ethnic Jews in the future.
I think I'd have to go a little lower if we're going full orb dispe. Well, no. Let's go 4.
Yeah. I like your things. I'd probably go 2. I'd go garlic and pepperoncini on the mass conversion.
I'm trying to go down. It's hard. It's a hard one though.
Love your answer. Let's go number 2.
Okay.
Garlic and pepperoncini by
number 2.
Hot and Saucy. Ooh, sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
Very sweet.
Was not expecting.
Very tasty.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do a bite of each.
I think we're unusual because our production assistant, Ryan Noah, is also eating the wings off camera.
It's great. Now, that's sweet, a little bit spicy.
That's good.
Yeah.
If these theologians manifested a hot sauce, I'm not suggesting you point to one of them. I'm suggesting you imagine one.
Imagine
what it might be called.
Okay.
What would this hot sauce be?
Okay, let me hear.
Martin Luther.
Martin Luther. I think it would be God help me, here I stand in the fire. Something like that.
And then he's gonna.
Is that too long?
No, that's fine by me. And I think maybe he also would put out an antacid called "Here I Sit." Greg Bonson.
Inferno in exhaustive detail. Something like that. from Matthew 5:17, right? Normative in exhaustive detail, scorching in exhaustive detail. Something like that.
Last one here. Karl Barth.
Burn you in a different realm. Or maybe like the Galloping Geschichte. Galloping Geschichte hot sauce. It will take your taste buds to a different dimension. Yeah, something like that. Okay.
All right, number 3. Let's go number 3.
Good.
Mark's Barbados style. Sauce Picante de Montreal.
Got a little bit more kick.
It does, but it's got a nice flavor, though.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've been reading some Presbyterian history.
Okay.
Lane Theological Seminary is second only to Union Theological Seminary as a defender of new school Presbyterianism.
Okay.
So if you became president, I know you'd never want to do this, but if you became president
that's my goal.
of a 21st century revamp of Lane Theological Seminary, what would be the theological and ecclesiastical distinctives?
Maybe it would try to have, if it were really trendy, possibly for ecclesiology, it could have a Karl Rahner anonymous chair of ecclesiology. You don't know who's in it. You can't identify, but it's a chair that can accommodate anyone who sits in it anonymously. And then maybe to be hip, it would have a God who changes according to each month. So it would have a theology proper where God changes either monthly or seasonally.
Maybe a calendar.
In endless variety. Yeah, something like that. I'm trying to think outside the box. I'm trying to be creative. So a Karl Rahner anonymous chair is a symbol for the ecclesiastical openness.
Yeah.
And then a God who changes in endless permutations, either monthly or seasonal.
Maybe that is,
Would that work?
That's like New School 3.0, I think.
I'm trying.
We'll go with it.
I'm trying.
Let's do number 4 here.
Okay, now what is this?
This is a Hellfire hot sauce from Devil's Blend.
Goodness. Jonathan Edwards is smiling.
It's the green one. Woo! This has got roasted Reaper in it.
I just got some sauce on my glasses. That is the tastiest one today.
That's a tasty sauce.
Yep.
We're gonna amp it up a little bit.
Okay.
Romans 1, 3-4. One of your favorite sections.
Yeah.
One of my favorite sections.
Yeah.
How can Paul speak of Jesus being declared the Son of God through the power of the resurrection when he is already the eternal Son of God? How does that make sense?
Now we're getting into some actual fun stuff. We don't have to be nothing anonymous here. Okay, very good. And no Geschichte Gallop either. The beauty of what Paul's doing in Romans 1, 3-4 is that though the Son is the eternal and immutable Son of God in his person, he descends from David according to the flesh, is declared the Son of God in power by his resurrection from the dead. And Gerhardus Voss, in the Self-Disclosure of Jesus, talks about a distinction between the ontological sonship of Jesus and his messianic sonship. And the messianic sonship requires of him the traversing of the distinct estates of humiliation and exaltation. And if we put it in a way that the deeper Protestant conception would be happy with, that in humiliation and exaltation, his immutable person remains the same, but in his humanity, his relation changes insofar as he is a sin-bearing substitute bound in death in his humanity, the third day raised in glory and power in his humanity, and that those movements show the authentic character of his true humanity on behalf of his people, but in a way that doesn't push us to say somehow his being or personhood proper is being altered or modified. So it's a Christological expression of that new relation of creation, now modified in its redemptive context. So, and I think Voss has, just a plug here, I guess, since we're doing hot ones, Voss has a wonderful discussion along similar lines in volume 3 of the RD.
Well, let's eat the next. I'm impressed how hot that is after 4. So this is number 5,
number
Los
5.
Calientes. This is from Hot Ones, a First We Feast presentation here. Los Calientes, which means the hot ones, or the hots.
This is good. That's a good flavor.
Isn't that a good sauce?
Oh, yeah. Got a first drip. Can you see it? I'm just going to let it go.
So normally on Hot Ones, we have a feature called, or a segment called Explain That Gram, where we show interesting or unusual pictures from Instagram, from the guest's Instagram account, asking for further explanation or context.
Instagram, okay.
So you don't have an Instagram account. You have a Twitter account, but you famously follow 0 people. Well, at least you famously have tweeted 0 times.
Yes.
So I'm going to do something a little off the beaten path because we can't go along with the segment normally.
Yeah. I'm a little different that way. I'm challenged.
I'm going to allow you to paint a picture for me. If Instagram existed when you were in high school, maybe when you're 17,
Yeah.
maybe you're at a concert or a movie or at a sporting event, what would we see and scratch our heads and say, what in the world is he doing or what is he wearing?
Yeah, what is he wearing? You might have seen me in the full commando gear from Schwarzenegger's 1987 movie or Predator.
Well, when that Jeep like jumps like 2,000 yards through the air or flips over and then lands on its wheels.
Yes. And while he jumps out of an airplane taking off into the swamp
and lands
on his feet and keeps walking. You might have seen me in gear like that. There's also a scene where he took that black paint that you put on yourself when you're getting ready for war. Usually in football games, you just put it on your eyes, and he was putting it all over him. Yeah. You might have seen something like that with an Iron Maiden shirt with the neck cut out. Something along those lines.
And with a crew cut, correct?
With a flat top.
Flat top.
Yep. Or a crew cut. I guess when I was in high school, I was kind of going back and forth. Yeah.
Oh, let's step it up. Tears of the Sun. Number 6 from High River Sauce. Tears of the Sun. Private Reserve. Caribbean style ghost pepper sauce.
This one is a new level. This one's getting up there.
I like it.
This on the Schofield rating. This is getting up there.
This is historic pre-mill right here.
This is historic
on
pre-mill.
The Schofields.
Yeah. There's no doubt. Yeah, I'm starting to feel the escalation here. Am I turning red yet?
Not really. No, you're starting to sweat though.
I'm feeling. You remember the old Power Station song? Some like it hot. Some like it hot. I'm starting to warm up for sure.
If we're gonna have a crash course in a Reformed Forum style biblical theology.
Yeah. Yep.
What 3 or maybe 4 books would you recommend that someone would read, and in what order?
I would say to start, one of the places I think is always a great place to start, just to get acclimated, Clowney's Unfolding Mystery. It's not the most penetrating thing, but it is a useful book to help you start thinking about the movement in redemptive history. I think it's very useful. I would then say that if it's going to be anything associated with Reformed Forum, we'd have to get to biblical theology. I know it might be a little bit later, but you'll see why I don't put it there. I'd say you have to start reading that and then just get a feel for the unfolding of the organic progressive movement of covenant history, get the pre-fall covenant clear. That's where it's so strong. And then everything follows from the Adamic covenant forward. And then I would say if we're pushing things, I would say for 3 and 4, read in tandem. I would like us to try to walk through, help people understand The Pauline Eschatology by Voss, and then one of my favorite books Klein ever wrote. It may be my favorite, although that's hard to say, God, Heaven, and Armageddon. Because Voss helps you see the way the eschatology of Paul is primary, bringing into view resurrection and ascension. And then Klein just does a tremendous job in amplifying the way that heaven itself, in all of its concreteness and glory, thematizes that history of special revelation that's moving on earth from the biblical theology. He heavenizes things so thoroughly that once you put those 4 things together, you get your basic intro to Clowney, go to Voss and get the structure of Old and New Testament revelation. And then I think Voss on Paul is still unsurpassed. And then I think Klein in God, Heaven, and Armageddon, and bringing into view the heavenly mountain, the way the earthly mountains move an ascending way toward that. I think it would be fun. I think it would be glorious. If we spent the time, working through that, I think it would be fruitful.
Next up, number 7.
Man, this is
Torchbearer Sauce's Honey Badger, Honey Mustard, Killer. Are you a drums or a flats guy?
I'm afraid. I kind of like flats.
Yeah, there's an art to eating the flat. I think this is the first flat on my plate. I always have that meat that sticks in between the 2 bones on the flat. And if you really work hard, you can.
This one kicks.
You can. If you do that little trick, you get the meat right out of the middle.
Oh, that was brilliant.
You got to do the beaver teeth or whatever.
That was brilliant.
Ooh, I should not have eaten all of that.
You just went over the top. I mean, I'm going to take a sip of milk after that one.
This is getting up there.
This is a new level. I'm now starting to get some streams of perspiration.
There is a decided difference between Tears of the Sun and Honey Badger.
Yeah, Honey Badger is on a different plane.
Oh man. Is this the upper register now?
I think we're about to traverse, yeah.
I was going to ask you about the Donum Superaddictum, but I'm going to take the time to ask you, if hot sauce, explain what the upper register is and how hot sauces might apply.
The upper register, as Klein defines it, is the invisible heavens that was created in the absolute beginning, Genesis 1:1, Nehemiah 9:6, Isaiah 6:1-7, Hebrews 12:22 through 24, Colossians 1:16, 3:2. It's the real, but presently veiled, invisible, heavenly temple dwelling of God. And it's the apex, it's the crescendo of God's glory revealed in terms of the original creation order. In fact, everything on earth is ordered toward entering into Sabbath rest, and the glory of the lower registers, that it will be joined and brought into the glory of that upper register temple. To see the immutable glory of God set on display after the fall in Christ as raised and ascended. And right now, Tears of the Sun is lower register. What did we just eat?
Honey Badger.
Honey Badger is knocking on the door of the upper register.
Knocking on heaven's door.
It's not knocking on heaven's door, but I don't think it's opened the door in terms of the heat index yet.
I think it has. I mean, I'm getting close to sweating, but my mouth is on fire.
Look, I'm sweating. Here's the funny thing. I'm sweating, but my mouth is still fine.
Now we're up. The bomb. This is a bad memory right here.
This is an hysterical memory as well.
There's no common grace in the bomb. Oh, that's bad. That is so bad. I remember this. All right. So Cornelius Van Til is very famous and well known for speaking about God as one person and three persons.
Yeah.
What did he mean by that, and how does his polemical context add further explanatory or further illumination on what he meant?
For Van Til, God as one person is synonymous with what Bavinck said about God as absolute personality. That God in his unity has one mind, one will, one consciousness, he's self-determined. Yet, as Bavinck said, that absolute personality unfolds itself in a threefold subsistence of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And all Van Til's trying to do when he's using absolute person language is use it synonymously with absolute personality. His context, the polemical context, Van Til thought it was very important to speak this way because, among other people, Gordon Clark argued that God in his unity is mute substance, and that as mute substance, this is in a different stratosphere.
This is so rough. The bomb is just terrible.
Hideous. That as mute substance, personality is located only in the hypostases as discrete bundles of thought. And so Van Til thought that was heretical. It risked tritheism, which I think it does. And so he was wanting to say that God is absolute in his personality in a way that accords with full orb Trinitarianism. Gordon Clark denied that. And I think the secret, if you really want to try to understand Van Til on absolute person and absolute personality, is that he's trying to explicate and advance the thought of Bavinck in particular. Okay, I gotta say something.
You should call this like King Ahab and Jezebel's,
Yeah, I gotta say something. That stuff right there, if you don't mind me saying this, I wanna retain decorum, is the most foul-tasting, offensive thing I've ever put in my mouth. That right there, the bomb. It is so close to the intrusion of a judgment that removes all grace.
It gets.
It's hideous. That's terrible.
Are you understanding now my reaction last time
goodness,
and how
yes.
much is that stuff I put out of that piece of steak?
Goodness, yes. And when you layered it up, I don't know how you did it. Here's the thing. Here's the hard
Breathing
part.
hurts. When you breathe, the vapors just come out and eat
This
your
makes
throat.
whatever else we're going to do extremely difficult.
I think that's the sneaky thing of Hot Ones, that number 8, the bomb, is actually the worst. And I don't think it's that it just cauterizes your face. I think it just masks everything that's to come.
Camden, we're pouring sweat now.
Yeah.
Look at that. Goodness gracious. Okay.
That is so bad. All right. I have the Scorpion hot sauce by Heatonist. Another Hot Ones, the largest drum.
Oh, Camden, I'm about to.
2 more. We're almost there. We got to persevere. We got to finish the good work we began.
Let's roll,
Or the stupid work we began. That's got some weird citrus. That tastes bad. The bomb.
The
is
bomb
horrible.
does. The bomb, for our listeners, for those who are watching, the bomb isn't. The bomb is an odious atrocity that has no flavor. This is tasty.
Eye of the Scorpion is a delight compared to the bomb.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
The bomb is terrible.
But the Eye of the Scorpion's got a deep stinger in it.
Yeah.
It hits you deep. I feel it way, way down in my tongue now.
Coming. Adoption, famously, we speak in the Westminster Standards of all the aspects of the Ordo Salutis. Justification, adoption, and sanctification come in sequence there in the Ordo Salutis.
Yep.
Very famously, it's emphasized in membership classes. Justification is an act of God. Sanctification is a work of God. Adoption is labeled as an act. Why is it important to maintain that it is an act and not also a work?
Oh gosh, that's a wonderful question.
Now, all of this is in a lecture to come in a future course, but I'll give you time to explain.
You can give me just a brief here. If you think of it this way, one of the reasons why the Reformed have said that adoption is an act of God is that it brings into view the attainment of your inheritance in Jesus Christ. And if it's a work of God, and by virtue of inwrought grace and cooperation with it, in exercising new obedience, you gain your inheritance. You have committed an error at least as bad as the Roman Catholic error of saying that you are inherently righteous and can merit the favor of God. This goes one step further and says you not only merit the general favor of God, you merit the inheritance. You attain the inheritance on the basis, in part, of Spirit-worked obedience. And so it would be, if you took the view that either adoption was an act and a work, which I think it risks significant incoherence, or if you just said it is a work of God, you would suspend the attainment of the inheritance on inwrought grace and new obedience, and in doing so would undermine, I think, through the back door, what justification is trying to safeguard in the front door.
Well, we've come to the end of the gauntlet, the end of the road. There's only one left.
What is that?
XXX, the Last Dab XXX with the Pepper X. It's our tradition around here and on the real show, Hot Ones, to put a little bit extra on the last wing.
Mm-hmm.
One last dab. If you want, you don't have to. But if you want, you can put a little dab on there. And my nose is running like a faucet now. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh boy. Well, I tell you what, we might as well be walking on the sun after that.
Oh, we've done it. You've made it through the Pepper Valley of the shadow of death. Here's to greener pastures and still waters. This camera, this camera, this camera. Let the people know what you got going on in your life, Lane Tipton.
I'm feeling victorious. I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling satiated. And I am very thankful that we made it through this. I was afraid as I'm getting older that my ability to handle hot food, which I've had for years, I was afraid it was gone, and my stomach might, get the best of me.
It still might.
I'm telling you what. No, I'm telling you what. I'm feeling good, and it's wonderful to have done this Unreformed Forum. I don't know if I'm down for this ever again, but this was delightful. The only thing is this: we need to throw this out.
Well, everyone should know we got a lot going on, and to speak on Lane's behalf, we've got new books. Look for Foundations of Covenant Theology coming out soon. It's at the printer. We're just waiting for the shipment to come. Later this year, The Triune Personal God, the Van Til's Trinitarian Theology, both written by Lane Tipton, and we have a new course in the works. We just recorded it this week. Will be edited and available as soon as possible on Reformed Academy, a course on union with Christ, the doctrine of salvation, looking at it from the eschatological perspective of redemption accomplished and applied. All available online at reformedforum.org. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for listening. And we probably won't see you again on Reformed Forum's Theological Hot Ones.